decided, you know what? Screw it. We got to do this live as well. There is a scam going on out there. And I swear to you guys, I'm being dead serious and I am not joking. If you watch this, you better share it as far as you can see. We need to get 5 to 10 million people to share this live or share this video because this is so important. This is beyond important because this is going to affect people's bank accounts, daily lives. This is going to affect consumer confidence in all kinds of industries. This right now is a crossroads. Good evening. This is a crossroads of sorts that we need to address now, not tomorrow, not in 2026, now. Okay. There is a huge scam that is being pulled almost all day, all week for the last month. Here's how the scam goes. They have an AI generated influencer, and it's an exact copy of a guy that deals with the car side of the auctions. And he's coming on and says, I got big secret for you that the RV dealers don't want you to know, and the RV manufacturers don't want you to know. You could buy a new travel trailer, a new fifth wheel directly through an auction in Texas or X or California, or whatever the case may be, and you could pay 30, 40 cents on the dollar, that the RV prices are crashing so fast because dealers are so overstocked, they're selling things for 70, 75% back of dealer invoice. And what ends up happening is in the TikTok version of this video, in the TikTok version of this, he tells you to go and search in the bar RV price crash. And all of a sudden, you see a bunch of videos of Riverstone fifth wheels, Brinkley fifth wheels. They're using Josh the RV nerd. They're using Matt's RV reviews. They're using me. They're using Miles. They're using every influencer that is corporate or non-corporate, including the RV hunter. And they are using all of our voices and all our likenesses through 11 labs and different AI programs to make it seem like I'm selling a Brinkley for $35,000 less than any dealer in the United States. I just had a phone call with a guy 2 hours ago that gave somebody $8,000 deposit over the phone thinking it was me or someone I worked with selling him a Brinkley for 35 grand less, a Z3100 for 35 grand less than anybody else in the country. I looked at the TikTok page, I flagged it, did all that stuff, and it's right there in black and white. It's the biggest scam on God's green earth because people in general want to believe that for some reason they want to believe that the RV industry's prices are going to crash. It's not going to happen. Wake up and educate yourself. These people are using your emotions and your non education to take money from you. This is the fifth person in December to call our dealership trying to figure out, well, I had a 323 area code and it seemed legit because you guys are in California. And I had another guy who reached out to me and said, yeah, I got scammed by Bish's RV. Well, how'd you get scammed by Bish's RV? He goes, well, Josh the RV nerd is selling a Grand Design Momentum for 40 grand less than anybody else in Canada. And so I gave him my credit card over the phone. It's the TikTok page has a Utah phone number. The Bish's video is at a Utah location. It's fake. It's fake. It's, excuse my language. I know you guys hate it when I cuss, but it's bullshit. You guys really need to pass this information along to people. I don't care if they like me or not. They could call me the blowhard. They can call me whatever name in the book they want. I do not want people to get scammed out of their money by idiots spreading a vicious rumor and using my likeness. And no matter what differences I have with Mr. MILESRV, there's no freaking way in God's green earth I'm going to defend anybody using his likeness and his video content to scam people. That's bullshit. That kind of thing just irks me. It just digs in my craw. It really does. It bugs the crap out of me that one of my owners has taken 4 phone calls asking where his coach is with a Riverstone, a Mobile Suites, an Attitude fifth wheel toy hauler, a Brinkley, I can't remember the travel trailer. I think it's a 295 travel trailer. And we're sitting there like, where is this coming from? And when I finally start digging into it, I'm like, oh my God, these people act. Now, look, you could go blame the consumer all you want that gave him the credit card. But look, everybody has been screaming and yelling since COVID's prices went jack through the roof that, oh my God, it's all overpriced now. Don't worry, there's going to be the biggest crash and the biggest crash in the history of economics, and we're going to be able to pay for things. I mean, we're going to have 40% unemployment, but us people who saved our pennies and did things the right way, we're going to be able to buy things like we did in the 1960s and 70s. And that BS, that complete, utter delusion has fueled the fire of these scam artists. The buck stops here. Nobody shares these videos, and I need you guys to start sharing them. When I bring up stuff like this, we need to bring it to every Facebook group, every RV group, every single Instagram page, every Snapchat group. This information needs to be shared across a world of social media because people's delusional ideas of RV prices crashing is what is fueling this scam and this scam artist. And they're starting to piss me off because they're starting to use guys that I actually like Matt's RV reviews, and I love the RV Hunter, and they're using their content now. And what's pissed me off even worse is nobody realizes that the Josh, the RV nerd lookalike, and the content and the logo are from his old family dealership. They're not even from Bish's. Nobody even looks at the hat he wears in those fake videos. It's not even the hat he wears, and he hasn't worn that hat in years, since 2021. He hasn't even been steadily at that Michigan location in 4 years. The guy's on the road traveling. He's doing a bunch of stuff for that corporation. How are people falling for this? They're falling for it because of the delusion that prices are crashing. Do you guys know when prices will crash? When a company goes bankrupt. That's when a price will crash on an RV company. Now, there's a lot more context to that, but I'm going to give you the very short answer to the very long, long question. And the short answer of the long of it is an example is in 2009 when Monaco Motorhomes went out of business, completely filed BK, completely gone. Lenders backed out. Banks would not finance a Monaco product. They wouldn't finance it for inventory, and they wouldn't finance it retail unless it was pre-owned. So dealerships had to pay off the bank notes and owned all that inventory in cash. That's why you could buy a Beaver. If you remember Beaver diesels, you could buy a $400,000 diesel pusher, $400,000 dealer invoice, not MSRP, a $400,000 dealer invoice Beaver motorhome for 180 to 190 grand because the dealer was trying to recuperate the cash as much as they could to survive the Great Recession. That is when you get pennies on the dollar deals, is when companies collapse and close their doors. Not when they're open, not when they're making money, not when they're continuing to work with lenders to be able to fund their operation, fund the inventory and fund the retail sales of their inventory. That's when price crashes occur, not when things are still going good for a manufacturer. Now, I'm going to give you an impossible scenario to give you an idea of what it would look like modern day. If heaven forbid Brinkley went out of business tomorrow, they're not going to, okay? Which is a good thing, by the way. If Brinkley went out of business tomorrow, then yes, the banks would call the dealers that have Brinkley products and say you have 30 days to pay off the loans. We no longer are going to carry that product on our banknote, and we're no longer going to allow you to sell them retail on a bank loan. Now you could go buy a $100,000 Brinkley fifth wheel for 50 grand. Okay. That's the only way it will happen. A manufacturer has to go out of business completely for you to get the kind of deal that these people are talking about in fake generating content for. I'll give you an example that's a real life example. Little Guy Trailers went out of business. Little Guy Trailers you could buy for 75% of dealer invoice because the dealers had to get them off their lot before the bank loan was called in. Little Guy went out of business. That's the only way it happened. It'd have to go completely gone, disappear like a ghost. So as long as Brinkley and Grand Design and Forest River and Thor and Keystone and Coachman and Genesis Supreme and Northwood Manufacturing and Outdoors AV, as long as their doors are open, as long as they can fund their operations, you're not going to see a price crash like people say there's going to be. And because of this fake delusional content, this fake delusion, it's now caused a gateway and opening for scam artists to steal your money. Period. Now, I'm sorry I get passionate about this stuff, but I don't like it. I don't like it when somebody takes something. I have my differences with the way some people do things. And I'll tell you this, if someone used Nate Goldenberg's likeness to do the same thing, I would be on his side. I may have my differences with Nate, and Nate may have his differences with me, but it would be absolute horse manure for someone to use Nate's likeness to bullshit people into thinking that Brinkley's are 50% off just to scam you out of your money. The industry doesn't need it. The community doesn't need it. And you, the daily consumer, don't need it when we already work so hard for the dimes and pennies we make. When we work so hard to have what we get and get what we have and to give it away to a con artist and a thief that is taking advantage of people, makes me mad, gets me emotional. I'm tired of it. I would like to thank Josh, the RV nerd, because he did cover a little bit about this. But again, nobody paid attention because there's still people, I guarantee you, there's still people that are going on these fake Bish's TikToks and fake Bish's and fake Josh, the RV nerd channels and giving people over the phone 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand of their hard earned money that they'll never see again. Facts. Now, maybe they'll recover it because credit card companies and debit card companies, they'll more than likely recover it, but they won't recover it without it being a complete pain in the ass. And we're in the middle of about to be Christmas of 2025 and New Year's. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever holiday you celebrate, you just got scammed out of $10,000. That might take you 2 months to recover because you believed a delusion and an absolute baloney bull crap that's all over the freaking internet because I went to pay attention, but attention paid me. So sick of it. Seriously tired of it. Yeah, I'm sorry I get so passionate and I get so angry about this. It's like, my God, you know, Josh may have his differences with me, and I may have some differences with the way he's changed over the years, but that man built a community, built a YouTube channel, built a brand that took him 10 plus years to build, and somebody's trying to wreck it. Screw that crap. It's baloney. Let's take a man that's busted his ass, that's a good family guy, a good old wholesome guy who would never do anything bad to anybody, who's a good human being. Even if I have my disagreements with what how things are done anymore because of the whole corporatization of YouTube, the man built a brand and is a good family man and a good person and a good human being. Why in the hell would you try to trash his name and trash the thing he's built just because you're trying to scam some people? Because you found a hole? It's malarkey, man. It's garbage. You're taking one of the best personalities in the industry and the RV hunter and trying to flip his wholesome and smile and his great attitude and his great personality and trying to basically screw over everything he's built with Funtown RV. Oh yeah. But hey, look, in a lot of ways, we did sign up for it. We are putting our face and our voice and our likeness out there for people to do whatever the hell they want. I get it, but it doesn't make it right. Doesn't. So share this because this needs to get out. It needs to get out to the community. Because if consumers continue to get scammed because they believe everything on the internet and Reddit and Quora and Facebook groups, and they believe the guy who's an idiot who tells the big fish story, who ain't caught a 3 pound trout but told everybody it was 20 pounds, he fought it for 4 hours when he reeled it straight in 10 minutes. You're going to believe that fish story guy who tells you he bought a full body paint Grand Design Momentum that dealer invoice 120 grand, he bought it for 80,000 out the door, and you really want to believe that guy, you go right on ahead. I guarantee you his paperwork says it's more than 80 grand out the door. So you want to believe all that Fantasyland crap, that's on them. But if it's shared throughout the entire YouTube and TikTok universe and people are aware that there is no going to be no such thing as an RV price crash and people re-educate themselves on how economics really work instead of believing some knucklehead influencer and some AI guy, you know, fake made up AI freaking video, hey, right there with you. That's on them. If they got the education from them, they still make the decision to give the scam artist money, at least we put the information in front of them. They don't want to believe me. They don't want to believe anybody else. And they want to believe I'm just a sales guy and just some guy because my interests are because we're tied to the RV world. Hey, man, I make pretty good money on YouTube now with 3 other channels. I don't necessarily need the RV industry. I can go be a garbage man and still be okay. So it's just, I'm passionate about this industry and I'm passionate about this community and this lifestyle enough where I even live in a fifth wheel. So that's that. Have a good night.